ability to do something to help alleviate the suffering of the masses of our people, African people. I looked at several other organizations before joining the party, but they didn't really speak to me. There was different aspects that I liked of each organization, but there was also a lot of things that I disliked in everyone as well. So from there, my brother and I tried to start our own organization in Pittsburgh. But at the time, because of our lack of ideological training, we made some errors strategically and tactically when it comes to organizing. And then we, discovered the party. And some of the ideologues, such as Kwame Nkrumah and Kwame Ture, that give us our ideology in the party, we were also looking at whenever we were creating our own organization. So the party really spoke to me, and I was more impressed with the party's line than I was any other organization that I looked at. It spoke to me the most out of any other organization that I've ever been a part of or even looked at possibly joining.
Thank you. Sister Cicely?
I've been familiar with the party and have been studying this line since I was in college in the 90s. And I didn't become a member because I was in the exploratory phase as a young woman. I've always been very active, especially with youth work. And one day, one of the cadre talked to me about how I could basically multiply my work as opposed to being an individual, and that I was getting older and it's time to, you've experienced NAACP side of things, you've experienced the Urban League side of things, you've experienced, some of the other local community organizations. So it was time to actually establish some roots now that I had all those various experiences, and basically said, you should come to work study. And that basically, gave me an opportunity to experience a structure in the organization that allowed for me as a woman to be on the forefront, which I think, I'm naturally acclimated to, leadership, but needed training, more training. So it offered all those things. It offered an opportunity to make sure that my voice was not being drowned out over some as what happens in a lot of different organizations. It gave me an opportunity for training and just personal development, which I think also helps further the revolution. So essentially, there's no other organization that I've experienced where the structure itself, the organization itself is so tight that I just think that I wanted to put my energy towards advancing it so that more people could be a part of it and use their talents towards advancing the revolution.
Thank you, sis. Comrade Orion, why did you join the A-APRP?
I've always been active on the campus and a party organizer in Toronto, cadre force. Basically called our office on the campus. I was leading a student group at the time, the Black Student Association, and asked to do a presentation to our board of directors. So we accommodated. She did the presentation. It was a wonderful presentation. And at that time, I was always looking for something that was a disciplined process. I was looking for discipline for myself, ideologically in particular. So we went out, I went out to represent this organization at the Osajiko's birthday commemoration. I believe it was his 100th. Spoke on behalf of the organization at the time. And I was very impressed with the forces that were at this meeting and the way that the event was organized. So the following year, I was invited to I believe it was ALD, and spoke on behalf of another community organization that I lead. And you yourself you spoke on the same panel as I, and I was very impressed actually with your presentation. It was actually a very impressive presentation. And I started to get internalized the line, and what I was hearing I was liking it. Then I started learning more about this work study process. So to really answer the question, it's the work study process, the combination of that, and actually the actual forces that I met were very persuasive. But I did eventually unite with the line. But you know, it was presented in such a way, and individually I was looking for a process where there was cadre, discipline, and a structure. And I have not seen, with all honesty, I'm not saying this because I'm in the party, I have not seen a rigorous structure, at least on paper and in practice as well, like the parties in terms of work study, and that you know, the fact that before you can even become a cadre, you got to study for 4 years. I think that's what separates this organization from many other organizations in the movement.
Nice. Thank you, Africans. So we're going to also, I have just a general question, and anybody can jump in and answer it. What role do you believe that African people on the continent and in the diaspora have on the liberation of Africa and African people? So, like, what is your role, and why? Why do you even have a role?
Well, I believe African people at home in Africa and Africans in the diaspora, your role, your responsibility is to help liberate your people in your homeland. That's our responsibility, and our responsibility alone, no one else's. So whether you're at home or whether you're in the diaspora, you have a responsibility to do that. And I believe we both have an equal responsibility. I don't put one group above the other. We're all African. We all have responsibility to our people and to our motherland.
All right. Other folks?
What was it, the role on...
What is our role as African people, wherever we are, to the liberation of Africa?
I think our role is to advance, and not just to continue, but to advance the revolutionary ideology through political education and by any other means. We just need to advance it wherever we find ourselves, particularly in the diaspora. I think what we offer is the perspective of being directly in the belly of the beast, as they say, Babylon. And I think that does offer us a particular perspective that we can all, as Africans around the world, take something from that that will inform us strategically and tactically. But I agree with David. Our position and our responsibility is simply the liberation of Africa, the free and total liberation of Africa.
All right. Any other comments? All right. We're going to follow with one last question. As a young person in the A-APRP, why do you think young people need to be in revolutionary organizations or parties?
Well, when you're talking about young people, you're talking about you're either in school. If you're not in school, you're working. And so if you're part of these educational institutions, we all know that on a daily basis we're being indoctrinated with capitalist ideology. So the revolutionary organization doesn't guarantee anything. It might in fact just help you stave off or clear out all of the capitalist ideology to readopt that, to get that total transformation that we're looking for. But the whole society is in such a way in its institutions that being part of a revolutionary organization is the least you can do. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's the least you can do, because that doesn't guarantee that you're going to be faithful to the line or to the people, etc., etc. So I don't think it's this big deal. I think it's the least you can do, and you should do, and it's a responsibility for young people to join revolutionary organization. I know that's from the youth, from the student perspective. The same thing goes with youth that are not in school, that are working as well. You're impressionable. Like this is the age where we're the most impressionable. And when you get older, generally speaking, you're set in your ways. So if we can get youth thinking revolution at a young age, at an impressionable age, I think I don't think it should be constructed as a big deal. It's something that's supposed to be done. So.
All right.
What was the question?
The question is, why, as a young person in the APRP, why do you think young people need to be in revolutionary organizations or parties?
Life is all about how you organize yourself. Either you're in an organization where it's run and controlled by someone else, or you're in an organization that teaches you how to do that. And that's what the party does for me. It teaches me how to be an organizer, not just within the party, but also as a citizen of the world. So in terms of organizing and why young folks should get involved in organizing, it is because we absolutely need to know how to move about and navigate through these systems. And that's what the party does for us.
I think one thing that should be made clear is that a lot of young people are already involved in organizations as it is, whether they recognize it or not. And a lot of these organizations are self-destructive, not only to themselves, but to our people as a whole. If you're in a gang, that's an organization. If you're in an African student union, that's an organization. If you're part of some type of micro-nationalist sect, that's an organization. So many of us are in organizations, but again, they're leading towards the destruction of our people. And so you should be a part of, if you're going to be a part of an organization, why not be, if you're going to be a part of one that's destroying our people, why not be a part of one that's fighting for the liberation of our people? A revolutionary organization that seeks to change your thinking so that you can divorce yourself from these self-destructive behaviors and attitudes. So to me, that's one of the main reasons why I think young people should be involved in a revolutionary organization, because, again, a lot of us were involved in so many of them, but they're not leading us anywhere but, just down the path of self-destruction. So I would encourage every young person to get involved in a revolutionary organization, whether it be the All African People's Revolutionary Party or any other organization, but definitely the All African People's Revolutionary Party.
Any other comments on that question?
Yeah, I just want to say, I think that, as a human being, you come into the world not alone, okay? Somebody helped you. Somebody established something before you. And that if you're visionary enough to see that there needs to be something established for the people after you, then obviously you need to put your energies towards making sure that that happens. And you can't do that in isolation as an individual. The way to create a strong foundation for our future is through organization. And what we put down now will benefit the grandkids that we have, or the younger generations that are to come after us, just like somebody did for us. And so for me, it's just a matter of give and take,
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Africans. And can you all, just for the record again, state your name and what chapter you're in?
Trina, Ohio.
David, Pennsylvania.
Cicely, Illinois.
Odia, Toronto.
Thank you, Africans.